Hello there, everyone. You know who I am, ETTemplar, Supreme Misfit, Professional Dipshit, and we're talking about some gamer news. So, Concord's recent failure might cost Sony up to $200 million. So, there should be a graphic on screen where someone's saying, they worked tirelessly on 8 years for this. Everyone support this game. Well, here's the issue with that. So, you people took 8 years to make this game. I'd like to know how many people approached you and said, some of these character designs are not very cool. It's not going to appeal to some gamers. It's not going to appeal to, the majority of gamers that just happen to be white males or just males in general. All right? So, but you probably turned those people aside, didn't you? Because you felt as if you needed to take a stab at cis het men everywhere. You turn those voices away when other artists and designers came forward. Hey, why don't we give some of these characters a more appealing costume or appealing character design? You probably turned them away too and said, "Oh, you're a bigot, racist, misogynist, misandry, and you see women as sex objects because you want them to have skimpy clothing or attractive apparel, right?" So this company turned away so many voices, so many creative insights. And I'd like to know how many people were actually fired for sharing these insights. So you took 8 years to make this steaming pile of dog shit, turned away so many voices that could have made it a hit success, and the only thing you've essentially made is the crackhead version of Overwatch 2. Now, Overwatch 2 also has, some chunky characters, and no one's saying here that every character should be like eye candy or appealing, but what most gamers want is they want a character that's fun to play, that's like fun to look at, that has cool character designs, cool attacks, and cool skill trees and things like that. So when this person says, please go out and buy this game because it's failing, no, because then you're encouraging more bad behavior, more bad game design, character design. No, this needs to happen. There's reason why Darwinism exists. Only the fittest shall survive. And this should be the same with video games and the video game industry. If you can't put forward an interesting world, characters, or gameplay, you deserve to fail. And how many other games in games past have created these wonderful games? Mercenaries, for example, that those game companies went under. Or there's so many other fine examples of video games that didn't deserve to die and did. So, and that was just due to normal economic reasons. What I see here, and if I had any advice to give to Sony, is the longer you go down the progressive woke path and you keep stifling true creativity, true character design, and true video game creation, the more you're going to hurt yourself. The more you appeal to a 1 to 4% of the global community, that's not enough people to make a profit off a video game, even though you prop it up as the next LGBTQ inspired or next woke inspired dog shit. Because the majority of gamers aren't going to support it. Now, males mostly, there's some females, you get the point. But I'd like to preface this with Cyberpunk 2077. There's a lot of stuff there for me personally, politically, that I find detestable. There's a lot of representation there in that game, but it had a unique world of Night City. You had Corpo, you had the wandering gypsy people who drive in cars. You had, the gangster. You played gangster. So it was a world that had these things and some politically charged and LGBTQ stuff in it. But even from a hardcore conservative traditional person like me, yeah, that annoyed me. But it was set in a universe and a world that was fucking interesting. I could look past that. Many people who are politically inclined can look past certain things. But when you lock your sole idea of creativity and your video game behind one identity politics, people aren't going to give a shit because that's the only thing it's about. It's like with Dustborn, which I had heard rumors that Dustborn is also a colossal failure because It's the clips I've seen. It's just identity politics and left identity politics. There's nothing there really to expound upon. I mean, you can hit a button to call someone racist. Is that entertaining, even if you are on the left side of things, in the DEI sector and the woke section? Like, can you really ask yourself that question? Is this fun where you hit a button to call someone racist? Really? Versus creating a very real world that people want to explore and be interested in? So when it comes to Sony and these other video game companies, when it comes to politics, you can have it in your game, just have it muted angle. Don't have it be your sole identity of the fucking game. It's like 2077, even as much as I mentioned that one. That one's pretty, it's in the minutia of the story. There's characters that have certain identities, whatever. That's cool, but it's not the main focus of the game. So there's more. So I'm not saying for politics to not be in any games. You can do it, but there's a way of doing it so that you're not alienating other fan bases. But then again, most of the people behind the video game industry or creation thereof are brought up from colleges that are brainwashed, and that's the only side they hear is the woke, the DEI, and the socialist angles, the cultural Marxist shit. And they think, because that's the main prevailing political identity, that they can make video games solely based on that and have it be a profit. But that's not the case. So, in closing, Concord deserves to fail. No one should buy this game and encourage. Yeah, it's tragic that this took 8 years and a lot of people got to lose their jobs, but that's on them. They should have thought. They should have taken in the advice of other employees or other creative minds. They should have heeded the warning. It's weird in this day and age for a video game company like Sony or the people at Concord. You have your finger on the pulse of gamers. You have witnessed decades of what gamers want, what succeeds and what fails, and you totally ignored that. You went with whatever bullshit version this is, and it's not paying off. And to the people, the grunts, yes, that is tragic that a lot of people are going to lose their jobs. But then again, a lot of people should have had the wherewithal and the preservation to think, is what we're making absolute dog shit? Will people buy it? And the capitalist way, the consumer saying, no, fuck you, this is shit. The gameplay's garbage. The playable characters are trash. And I think Concord was also supposed to be a live service game, which means it's online 24/7. So you also hampered your game to that with no campaign mode, co-op. See, even if you had campaign and co-op, that'd make it interesting because then you could kind of build up these characters. But then again, if your characters are shit and not interesting and stupid, no one's going to be bothered with that. So I can see why they probably cut out campaign and story, because they knew they couldn't build an effective story or interesting campaign with these dog shit character designs and models. That's why Eastern games like Stellar Blade, there's some new mecha game with character creations. So the East is nailing it on this because they know how to make money to appeal to a group. Although people are going to whine and complain, say that's chauvinism and that's appealing to the male, unrealistic proportions of women's bodies. But the truth is, that talks, that sells, that makes money. So while the Western market in general is out here shitting on cis-het men, white and black, and crapping on the general identity of gamers, keep doing that because you're going to keep losing money. Sony, if you want to go bankrupt and you want to lose everything you've built and established this far, you keep following those woke DEI voices. You keep following along that train. Yeah, sure, you'll be polishing the ass of every LGBTQ cultural Marxist and you won't be able to do anything wrong. But at some point, you're going to have to think, when the rubber meets the road, is it worth it to appeal to 1 to 4% of the people when we're getting fucked in the capitalist market of things and how shit works? Consumers aren't buying our stuff and we're being raw dogged in the butt. At one point, is this section of these, gaming companies, and these going to realize, oh wow, this is not profitable, appealing to these 1 to 4% of sexual deviants and weirdos out there and other identity politics, you're going to lose money. So it's the ball's in your court. The gun's on the table there. If the video game industry or Sony literally wants to end themselves, us consumers aren't going to give a shit. Because if you can't produce good, entertaining content, character designs, gameplay, and the bare necessities, then consumers aren't going to give you the time of day. So Sony and other video game companies, even to those that if you don't want your game to fail, stove your politics. You can still have it in your game, but don't have it be the main sole identity of your fucking game. And even then, there's no finality to that, because other gamers could just, be rubbed the wrong way. So with that, I'll end this video here. Hopefully you found it interesting. But yeah, this is mainly just my opinion towards the video game industry. You guys actually want to make money and offend opinions? Or do you not want to make money and not offend anyone? I mean, the choice is pretty clear, isn't it? Irritate a small population of society and reel in the money? Or continue the destructive path of making shitty games that nobody wants to play? And with that, this kind of reminds me of the video game bubble in the 80s when that broke. I think we're going to be set in track for the same thing if these big video game companies keep producing political trash like this. So anyways, hopefully you found this interesting. Leave a like, comment your own thoughts, and I'll see you next time. This is just me sharing my 2 cents on it. If you didn't like it, there's a dislike button and the comments down below. But anyways, like, subscribe if you haven't already. There's links in the description down below if you want to support this channel further. It's not necessary. But yeah, there's also links to a Discord and Telegram there for other updates, and if you just want to shoot the shit. But yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time. Take it easy. And yeah, let's hope video game companies come back to the idea of them wanting to make money versus preach some bullshit propaganda.